back to the David67 YouTube Celtic News channel. Today's video going to be a quick preview of Celtic's match against Ross County tomorrow, 12:30 on Sky Sports. I think this is another game for Rodgers just to rest a couple of players in preparation for the big game against Atletico Madrid in Madrid next week. I think that his resting of CCV and Maeda in the game against St Mirren worked well, especially if CCV does have some minor recurring ongoing knee problems. I think he's going to be a key player in our big games this season, and so I think given that Naiwrocki must be very close to getting back into first team action, I think giving CCV the odd game off here and there is going to be a very good option going forward. I think this also gives Rodgers a chance to maybe look at starting O in place of Kyogo, having Kyogo on the bench. And obviously, also another option might be giving Matt O'Reilly a chance to sit on the bench and have a rest, with again the possibility of bringing him off the bench if the game isn't going so well with half an hour or so to go. Rodgers has been very reluctant to give any of Celtic's first team players much of a rest. Resting Maeda and replacing him with Forrest was a bit of a disaster against St Mirren. Replacing Paulo Bernardo, who was replacing Rio Hatate, and replacing him with David Turnbull, I don't think that at all really worked out. Admittedly, Turnbull did score a goal, but I think he was anonymous otherwise in midfield. Wasn't working back to help out Johnston and Taylor and the defenders. Wasn't really competing in midfield, tackling, intercepting, disrupting the play. And I think the key for replacing Hatate is having a player like Hatate who can go box to box, cover back at right back and left back, link in with McGregor, link in with O'Reilly, get the ball out wide, and then get forward to support the strikers and shoot from the edge of the box and even inside the box. I think Maeda will be rested again at the weekend, or should be rested again at the weekend, and Yang given the chance to start alongside Palma on the other side. And I think also Palma needs to play a whole game, assuming that he doesn't pick up any knocks or injuries, as I think he's the kind of player who can be a big star or do something remarkable. And also, as I've said a few times before and made comments regarding, I think Palma needs to start being Celtic's designated free kick, penalty kick and corner kick taker. He was greatly skilled at both of those, or all of those rather, in Honduras and Greek football. He's currently the designated free kick, corner kick and penalty taker for Honduras and has a 100% penalty success rate as a pro. I fully expect Celtic to win quite comfortably at Dingwall. It is rather a long trek for a 12:30 fixture if you're a fan, but I'm fully sure that Celtic will have a good travelling support to cheer and support the players on. Dingwall can be quite a difficult ground to go to, although Celtic's record is very good there. And we, of course, beat them comfortably at the start of the season. And so I have no doubt Celtic will maintain their good form with a win, extend their lead to 8 points, and create a nice big gap over our big rivals. I do wonder also whether Rodgers might just take the opportunity to bring from the B team Rocco Vata into the team. Rocco Vata has had a number of good games in Celtic B team or Celtic's youth team against the corresponding youth teams of Feyenoord, Lazio, and Atletico Madrid, and is also coming off a hat trick playing as a central striker in his last Celtic B team. As I've mentioned a few times before, Celtic have potentially quite a number of players going off to the Asian Cup in January and February of 2024, and so I do think Rodgers should be looking to bring into the first team squad from time to time really talented B team players such as Rocavata, Mackenzie Cars, and another player who has been playing very well for the B team, who very recently signed, is a young Australian called Liam Bontig, who has been performing very well in defence and has the potential to go very, very far in the game. So, my prediction for Celtic's lineup, or my recommended Celtic lineup, would be Hart in goals, Johnston, CCV, Scales, and Taylor. In midfield, Woden, Thiago Holm, McGregor, and Paulo Bernardo. And out wide, Yang and Luis Palma, and through the middle, O rather than Kyogo. I think Celtic should, if the game's going well, look to bring on a player such as Iwata, Naiwrocki, to get them blended into the team, as typically over the winter period we do pick up more injuries and more suspensions, and as I said, there's also the possibility of several players being away for much of June, January and early February, and so the more players in and around the first team squad with experience and match time in their legs, the better. Also then getting Naiwrocki back into playing action is going to be important, and so would maybe look to give Naiwrocki half an hour or so at the end of the game in place of CCV. Another player I'd like to see involved again in the squad is Gustav Lagerbielke, covers right back, with also the possibility of Scales moving out to left back. And again, I do wonder about whether having Lagerbielke as one of the bench options. I certainly don't think that Forrest, Mikey Johnston, David Turnbull, Nat Phillips should be on the bench for the foreseeable future. So I think it's much better to keep Celtic's long-term signings fully match fit. I don't see there being a prospect of Mikey Johnston staying past the winter transfer window. I don't think Celtic will make Nat Phillips' loan permanent or extended in January, and I think the lack of motion for David Turnbull approaching Celtic for a new contract, I think implies that he doesn't see his future at Celtic and wants to do a Ryan Christie and disappear off to the English Championship with the hope of choosing the right side and getting himself into the Premiership, as was the case with Ryan Christie. One other wee piece of news just to mention, that Celtic are said to be scouting a young Ghanaian footballer who's 21, playing for Hammarby in Sweden. This chap's called Nathaniel Adeji. I personally can't really see any reason for Celtic to be signing yet another centre-back unless Rodgers and Celtic knows that a couple of our other centre-backs are leaving in the winter transfer window. Otherwise, I think we need to give Naiwrocki, Lagerbielke, Scales, CCV every chance, and also potentially look either at bringing Kobayashi into the first team setup or sending him off on loan, which would be my preferred option. Anyway, Nathaniel Adeji, from his scouting reels and from internet scouting, 6'3" tall, seems not quite so physical as one would expect for a centre back. Has a very low goals ratio to appearances. So even though he is 6'3", doesn't seem to be a particular challenge for scoring in the other box. And so don't really see him being as an option for Celtic. However, if you do wish to look into him further, there are several scouting reels within the YouTube library if you do wish to look at him further. So, just to finish off, my prediction for tomorrow's game, I think Celtic will win 4-1. And think that Yang, Palmer, and O are all going to get on the score sheet and have very good games. So, just to finish off, if you could please, and you haven't already, do click the subscribe button, click the like button if you have liked the video, and also feel free to pop any comments you wish into the comment section. So for today, goodbye. Good luck to Celtic in tomorrow's game at lunchtime on Sky, and hail, hail.